And the winner is Esther Rolle, Summer of My German Soul.
I'm totally unprepared, ladies and gentlemen. Thank everyone who were so responsible for me being in this.
There are moments in Hollywood history when an actor's refusal to compromise becomes more powerful than any role they ever played. Esther Rolle's story is one of those moments. The beloved actress who brought Florida Evans to life on Good Times didn't just walk away from one of television's most popular shows. She walked away from a system that demanded she sacrifice her principles for a paycheck, and Hollywood made sure she paid the price. Esther Rolle wasn't just another actress reading lines. She was a classically trained performer who had honed her craft with the Negro Ensemble Company in New York, appearing in serious dramatic productions that explored the Black experience with depth and dignity. When she landed the role of Florida Evans on Maude in 1972, she saw it as an opportunity to portray a strong Black mother with grace and authenticity. The character resonated so deeply with audiences that CBS gave her family their own show. Good Times premiered in February 1974 and immediately became a cultural phenomenon. Set in the Cabrini Green housing projects of Chicago, the show focused on the Evans family struggling to make ends meet while maintaining their dignity and love for one another. Florida and her husband, James, played by John Amos, represented something revolutionary for television: a two-parent Black household facing economic challenges with strength, intelligence, and unity. But behind the scenes, creative tensions were already brewing that would eventually tear the show apart. The problem that changed everything. The issue had a name: J.J. Evans, played by Jimmy Walker. When the oldest son of the Evans family started as a supporting character, a wisecracking teenager with artistic talent and street smarts. But as the show progressed, something shifted. J.J.'s character began to dominate episodes with his catchphrase, "Dynamite," and his buffoonish antics. The audience loved it, the ratings soared, and the network wanted more. Esther Rolle watched with growing alarm as the show she believed would showcase Black family strength transformed into a showcase for minstrel-style comedy.
All right, shut up, both of you. The only thing is working is your jaws. Look, when you can go and fix the faucet, if you can squeeze your butt through that bathroom door.
She had fought her entire career against stereotypes that portrayed Black people as lazy, ignorant, or comical. Now she was trapped in a show that seemed determined to resurrect every degrading image she had spent decades trying to bury. She didn't stay silent. Rolle began speaking out publicly about her concerns. She criticized the direction of JJ's character, arguing that portraying him as an 18-year-old who couldn't read or write, who had no ambition beyond clowning, sent a damaging message to young Black viewers who needed positive role models. She demanded that the writers give him more dignity, show him pursuing his education, demonstrate his intelligence alongside his humor. The network and producers dismissed her concerns. JJ was making them money. Why fix what wasn't broken, at least from a ratings perspective? The father's exit. John Amos, who played James Evans, shared Rolle's frustrations. He also objected to the show's increasing reliance on stereotypical humor and the diminishing emphasis on the family's struggle to overcome systemic obstacles. Amos was particularly vocal about the quality of the writing, thus even going so far as to submit his own script ideas that would bring more depth to the Evans family story. The confrontation came to a head during the show's third season. Amos was fired. The official story involved creative differences, but everyone understood what had happened. He had refused to be quiet. He had challenged the people in power, and they removed him. For Esther Rolle, Amos's firing was a breaking point. The show had already compromised its original vision. Now it was eliminating the father from a show that was supposed to celebrate Black family structure. The message was clear: comply or be replaced. The season she said no. In 1977, after 3 seasons, Esther Rolle made a decision that shocked the industry. She quit Good Times at the height of its popularity. She walked away from steady income, from fame, even from security. She wrote a letter explaining her departure, stating that she could no longer be part of a show that she felt demeaned Black people and perpetuated harmful stereotypes. The network replaced her. The show continued without Florida Evans for an entire season, with the character explained away as having moved to Arizona for health reasons. Rolle spent that year doing stage work and smaller projects, watching from a distance as the show she had helped build continued without her. Behind the scenes, negotiations were happening. The producers wanted her back. The show's ratings had suffered without its matriarch. But Rolle had conditions. She demanded changes to JJ's character. She insisted on storylines that showed the family's dignity and resilience. She wanted her input to matter. She returned for the final season in 1978. Then, having negotiated some concessions, JJ's character was slightly toned down. The family dynamic was given more emphasis, but the damage to her career had already been done. The blacklist nobody talked about. After Good Times ended in 1979, Esther Rolle struggled to find work. Here was an actress who had proven she could anchor a hit television show, who had the respect of audiences and critics alike, who had demonstrated her talent across multiple mediums. Yet the offers dried up. She appeared in occasional television movies and guest spots, but never again landed a leading role in a major series. The message from Hollywood was unmistakable. Actresses who make demands, who challenge the system, who refuse to compromise their principles for profit. They don't get rewarded with opportunities. They get quietly pushed aside. Rolle spoke openly in interviews about being blacklisted, though the industry never officially acknowledged it. She talked about being labeled difficult because she had opinions about how Black people should be portrayed. She discussed losing roles to actresses who were more willing to accept whatever material they were given without complaint. The legacy of resistance. What makes Esther Rolle's story particularly painful is that time proved her right. The concerns she raised about JJ's characterization, about the show's reliance on stereotypical humor, about the importance of showing Black families with complexity and dignity, these weren't just one actress's complaints. They were legitimate criticisms that scholars and critics would echo for decades. The roles Rolle fought for, Black characters written with depth, intelligence, and humanity, are exactly what contemporary audiences now demand and celebrate. Shows like Insecure, Atlanta, and Abbott Elementary reflect the kind of nuanced Black storytelling Rolle was advocating for in the 1970s. But she paid the price for being ahead of her time. Esther Rolle died in 1998 at age 78. Her later career included a memorable role in the film Driving Miss Daisy and appearances in The Kid Who Loved Christmas and Rosewood, but nothing that matched the platform she had walked away from. She never expressed regret for her decisions, never apologized for demanding better. The question that remains. Esther Rolle's blacklisting raises an uncomfortable question that Hollywood still struggles to answer. What happens when an artist's integrity conflicts with commercial success? When profits depend on perpetuating stereotypes, who gets to decide whether art or money matters more? Rolle chose art. She chose dignity. She chose to say no when yes would have been easier and more profitable. And Hollywood made sure she paid for that choice with the rest of her career. Her story stands as both inspiration and warning, a reminder that sometimes doing the right thing costs everything, and that the industry's memory for rebellion lasts far longer than its gratitude for talent.